I'm from 18th and D, the Dirt Zone area, DC.
I'm from Uptown, DC.
And both of you guys still reside in DC?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, what was that like for you growing up in DC? Can you paint that picture for us?
I mean, basically, it's just like everywhere else. You got the trenches. You're going to take losses. You know what I'm saying? We ain't live up the hardest lives like everybody else claim they do. But we was definitely in the streets, so it is what it is. We all right. We made it all right, you know?
When you say you were in the streets, are we talking like street activity and that sort of thing?
Yeah, a whole lot of street activity.
How young did that start?
I started about 15.
15 years old.
Yeah. Definitely like 14, 15. That's when they really got into the streets.
Now, when it came to taking on that path, what was the reason behind that? Why go that route? Because, you know, a teenager around that age, most teenagers I see, they have a regular job.
Yeah, I mean, but it's all on your environment. When we was in the hood, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't in the good part of DC, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't out Silver Spring or anything, you know?
We're talking poverty?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you try to grow up seeing your people like struggling and shit. You know, you gotta step out of the box, do your own thing, you know what I mean? Get it how you live.
Was that a possibility though, a job?
I mean, a job always a possibility.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it wasn't easy to get though.
Not at those times for you?
Yeah, yeah, it still ain't easy to get.
Back then, did you attempt it?
Yeah, I did.
And did you end up getting a job, or it was just attempting and trying to get one?
Just attempting. They ain't never called me back or none. Yeah.
What jobs did you try?
I tried a couple. I tried Target. I think I tried like a Giant. It was a couple places. But after like the third one, I was like, fuck it.
What do you think the reasoning was that you weren't getting calls back?
I'm not even sure for real. I can't tell you. You know, I went in there, dressed nice. I think I did good on interviews. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't get it.
Didn't have any criminal record back then at that age when you attempted those jobs?
Nah, I ain't had no record.
Was it during the time of the recession when the U.S. economy was having that recession, or no, it was before it?
Nah, I think it was before.
Now, what type of street activity did you get into?
Ooh. I don't even know if I want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I want to talk about that.
Okay. I respect that. Who put you onto it, though?
Like I said, it was the environment. It was being outside every day. Shit happen, you know what I'm saying? And you either gonna do something about it or you not, you know?
Friend, family member?
More like friends.
Was there, I guess you looked at it more like survival.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it was all about for real. Yeah, you hit it on the nose.
Looking back dealing with the streets, obviously even for survival, that is a risky path to take. There's consequences that can come from that. There's stress, levels of stress. There's the looking over your shoulder feeling. Possible violence that could be associated with it. Possible incarceration. Worst case, death. Did you face any of these obstacles back then when you did take that route?
I mean, I faced going to jail. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never go, but it was there. You know what I'm saying? I could have went to jail a lot of times. Thank God I didn't.
I mean, yeah, we all know the consequences when we step in the streets and shit and do all the shit we do and shit. I mean, but it's about getting to the money, you know what I mean? That's what we got in our mindset. We ain't really tripping about getting getting locked up or shit like that. We already know them consequences and what come with this shit.
Was there ever an exit strategy? Was there ever like, if I make this certain type of money, I'm out. I'm done with this path.
The rap, the music, that's why we do this. It keep us going though. This keep us going, keep us motivated, keep us out the streets as much as it can.
Were you doing music at the same time all this was going on?
Yeah.
How young did the music stuff start?
For me, I was rapping since I was young, but I started taking it serious once I got like 15, like around 15, so yeah, it was still going on.
I think I started writing raps when I was in like 4th grade, for real. I used to rap, just write the shit, just in a composition book, but I ain't never do nothing to it or apply nothing to it, you feel me?
Very young.
Yeah.
We'll get into more of those details in a little bit here, but finishing up this part of, you know, the street activity route, looking back, was there any regrets making that decision and going that way?
No, not with me. I don't have no regrets. It is what it is. What happened in the past made me who I am today, and it make my raps go hard. That's why my fans love me.
Was it worth it? Was the risk worth the reward, or what you got out of it back then?
Nah, it ain't worth it, you know what I'm saying? But you can't tell a young person that, especially at that age.
Did you hide it from your parents back then?
Nah, I ain't had nothing.
Yeah, nah, they already was hip to what was going on, for real.
Did they ever try to persuade you to go a different route?
I mean, of course, they talk about it, you know, but it's so much a person could do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't live nobody else's life for them, you feel me?
Now, okay, you were in school 1 foot in, 1 foot in street activity at the same time. Let's say there's a kid watching this right now. Now, circumstances, of course, could be different for everybody. But if there's a kid right now, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, anything you would say to that person watching right now?
Stay in school.
No question, stay in school. Shit, I mean, I fucked my school. All my shit in school was all fucked up. I mean, I barely even went to school. You know what I mean? I got kicked out damn near every year. But, I mean, you definitely gotta go to school, get your education. That's main priority.
Did you ever end up graduating?
Yeah, I graduated.
You did?
Yeah, by the skin of my teeth, you know what I mean?
Were you ever held back a grade from being kicked out so many times?
Nah, I was never held back. I had to go to alternative school.
Okay.
Yeah, I got kicked out for like a year and shit. They told me I couldn't come back the next year until I had to go to alternative school.
Do you do the alternative school for 1 grade, or do you have to finish with alternative school for the rest of your high school?
No, I was basically like suspended for the rest of the year. So I had to go to alternative school for the rest of the year and shit. And I came back the next school year.
Is alternative school easy or hard?
Nah, that shit easy as shit. It's just all the motherfucking troublemakers in school, you was saying shit in that jump. But it's easy as shit. You ain't really gotta do shit in there.
You graduated as well?
Yeah, I graduated.
Reason why I ask is because sometimes when I do these types of interviews and we talk about a person's street activity path and past, some people get consumed with street activity so much so that they don't have time to go to school, or they feel they don't have time to go to school. They feel like they may be making so much money in the streets they don't see a point to finish. So just curious, maybe when you did graduate and make that decision, was that a self-motivated thing, or was that somebody pushing you to finish?
For me, that was a little bit of both. But I was more self-motivated. I was like, if anything, I gotta graduate out of high school. If anything, I had to do that.
Yeah, for me, no question, it was both too. For real, for me, I wouldn't even graduate. I had people inside the school system advocating for me, just for me to get back into school and shit. I was getting, like I was saying, I was getting kicked out my school every year and shit. Get in trouble and shit, so.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the segment, because I do want to get some details on that. But just curious, you growing up in poverty, you did have to take this route. I know growing up, especially the environment that you grew up in, there's a really low point, a bottom point, and there may be a really high point. What was the bottom point for you? And we're talking about your upbringing and growing up. Was there a bottom point? Was there a point that, I can't believe this happened to me?
No, not for me.
Okay.
Not for me.
Shit, it was just like a funny ass moment in my life, for real. When I first got locked up and shit, funny thing is I had a dream about that shit happening the night before, in the same type of motherfucking condition. I mean, the same circumstances and all that shit.
Deja vu?
Yeah. But I saw that shit in my dreams. And motherfucker, like 8 hours later, I was motherfucking getting locked up, same way and shit.
Was there, when it wasn't a dream anymore and it was reality, and you realized, whoa, I just thought of this the other day, Was there any way in the midst of while you were in the motions for you to stop yourself from finishing maybe where your dream foresaw you going?
No, I mean, I was young as shit, so I didn't really think of it that much and shit. For real, I thought I was motherfucking psychic or something, you hear me?
Now, at that moment, what did you end up going to jail for?
Yeah, basically, yeah, breaking in people's shit, burglary.
And this was while you were a juvenile?
Yeah, I was in like the 10th grade and shit.
Were you able to beat that charge?
I had, I was on house arrest for that charge for a little while and shit, probation and shit, but nah.
How strict were the house arrest rules?
I had to be in the school, I had to be at home straight after school. Probably like, I got out of school like 3:15, I had to be home by like 4:30 type shit.
House arrest as a teenager, is that easy or hard?
Oh, fuck no. That shit was the worst. You know, you a teen and shit, so you want to get out and do what you do, live your life and shit. And being in the house, straight out, having to go home, straight out to school, that shit ain't where it's at.
How much time house arrest did you have to do again?
Shit, I was in there for what, like, I ain't had to do what, 2-3 months and shit.
Okay. Now, let's say somebody's watching this interview and maybe they're going through a little bit of house arrest themselves. Any advice there, any do's or don'ts there for somebody watching this right now?
I mean, shit, you just got, for real, I mean, house arrest, that ain't the worst. That ain't the worst you can do. So, I mean, it ain't that bad being in a house and shit. So, I mean, you just gotta get through that shit, you hear me? That's the best I can say. You can get through that shit. Ain't nothing that bad about being home for a little bit.
Now, again, growing up in poverty, growing up with that upbringing, we just talked about the bottom point. On the opposite end of the spectrum, what was maybe the high point for you back then?
High point for me?
Yeah.
We was probably about, what, 16, 17, just being able to throw our own show and bring our own little crowd for ourselves and shit.
Yeah.
That was me.
That was a whole lot of motivation. That was a whole lot of motivation.
Just knowing as a young nigga, you can bring all these people into a venue by yourself. That was just our motivation.
No fights, no violence?
No fights, no violence, nothing.
No violence.
Did you guys make money that night?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Was it good enough to do it again?
Yeah.
Definitely. It was a great experience too.
Mm-hmm.
How easy or hard is that organizing an event like that at that age?
That shit was easy.
Yeah, it was easy, and we had a little bit of backing and shit too. So that shit made it shit way better. I mean, way easier and shit.
Backing like an investment? Backing like an investor or a sponsor or something of that nature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that point, you have the money, and more or less you guys are like calling the shots and organizing it.
Yeah.
I see. And the event sounds like it was a good turnout.
Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah.
It was lit.
Definitely was lit.
When you guys had this turnout, was it more so people you went to high school with?
It was people we went to high school with, people we know from around the way, fans, people we don't even know. We had other artists on the jump too, so yeah, I guess they fans, people they know came out and shit. So yeah, it was a nice little experience and shit. Now,
what kind of kid were you in class? Let's talk about school for a little bit.
Shit, I was a cool kid. I was cool. Everybody fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Especially the girls. The girls love me. The girls love me. Had a couple haters though. The dudes ain't like me, so I was probably getting their girls.
Safe to say you were a ladies' man back then?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Now, just curious, when it came to the girls, what age were you when you lost your virginity?
I was like 13.
13 years old?
Yeah, I was 13.
And do you remember how? Can you take us back?
I mean, look, she was a year older. No, she was 2 years older than me.
Okay.
And she told me to come over her house, and she started giving me some head. And then she told me what to do, and I did it. And it just went from there.
So it sounds like she wasn't a virgin.
She said she was. I don't think so, 'cause she was too nasty. She was nasty. I mean, she was nasty.
So this wasn't, I guess this wasn't planned or premeditated. This was more spontaneous back then?
And I guess so, yeah.
Like, I don't know, did you think, okay, we're going out, I'm gonna get lucky this night?
Nah, I didn't think that.
Okay.
It was in the daytime. Her mother was at work. I don't even think she was supposed to have company. Yeah.
Now, Back then, losing your virginity that young, were you ever worried about teen pregnancy? Was that a big deal back then?
Nah, I wasn't worried about that. I didn't start thinking about that till I got about 16.
Just curious. Were kids back then having sex that young, 13 years old?
Back then, there was a couple of them.
Shit, I feel like in the city, I feel like everything is celebrated where we from, for real, for real. In that city environment, I feel like we grew up way faster.
I see. I remember you talking about how you got into music and what age you were. But did you do any music classes while you were in school? Were you involved in the band? Were you in chorus at all?
Nah, I mean, we had basic music class. I mean, that was a course we had to take and shit, but other than that, nah.
I was
not
in
at
the
all.
band. I played the trumpet.
You did?
Yeah, and I played the snare drum too.
How long? How long did you do band for?
Like 2 years.
Okay.
Oh, that's crazy. I remember your man, when Drumline came out, the man used to always want to play the drums and shit.
Yeah.
Man tried to get me on that shit.
Now, you were doing band in middle school or high school?
Middle school.
Okay. Why didn't you continue on with it after 2 years?
I got into it with the music teacher. I had to whoop his ass.
Over what?
Cause my aunt had died, which is his grandmother, and I had to leave practice, and he had a fit and got to throwing shit. So I started throwing the shit back at him. So then I was just like, fuck band.
Now, what about freestyling, battling other classmates? Were any of you into that or no back then?
Yeah, I used to always do it.
Did you end up winning more, losing more, breaking even?
Winning,
Winning.
most definitely, yeah.
Did you participate in any talent shows?
Nah, I ain't never participated
Yeah,
in talent shows.
I ain't never been that involved in school and shit to participate in talent shows.
Yeah, I just been to them. I ain't never participated though, like.
So I assume probably not had a chance to perform at a pep rally either, or that sort of thing.
No.
Not back then. Would you be cool with doing it now, though?
Yeah, I was cool with doing it back then. I just ain't never do it though.
I see. Never had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Got you. Back then, was it the CD selling era for you guys, or no?
It was, but we ain't sell CDs.
You didn't?
Nah, we was more like just promoting our shit through social media and shit like that. I mean, we was just young, so we was just doing our own thing, just try to promote our own way.
What about sports? Did either of you try sports?
Shit, I ran track and shit.
Okay.
I pulled my hip. After that, I pulled a muscle in my hip. After that, I was like, fuck all that sports shit. Then after that, my grade job went taller anyway, so I couldn't do that shit anyway.
Played basketball and football. Played baseball. I played everything actually. I was boxing, baseball, soccer.
Are we talking JV? Or are we talking varsity?
That was more like for Rex, but I played basketball in schools. I was playing JV football in Dunbar in high school, but I had quit. I'm not a good person that like to go to practice. Yeah.
I see. Now, I don't know if you guys had like a song or like a single that was bubbling back then while you were in school, but when it came to things like homecoming, prom, stuff like that, did you ever have maybe one of your songs played, or I don't know if they even let people perform at stuff like that, but
I used to play my songs in gym. Everybody knew it. I used to go to school and everybody used to go crazy singing my songs. So gym time, the teacher let me hook my shit up. Everybody be in that gym just singing my shit, our shit.
And how was that feeling back then?
It was good. It was definitely good.
What about superlatives? You know, those are awards that they give out in the yearbook at the end of your high school days. Most likely to succeed, best dressed, biggest flirt, stuff like that. Did either of you win any of those superlatives?
Shit.
Senior superlatives, especially.
Nah.
I ain't even want to. I ain't want to get involved in that shit. Nah, I ain't even want to take my year picture. I did it though, but I ain't want to.
And then as far as after high school, after you guys graduated, was there any thoughts on furthering the education? Be it a technical school, be it college, university?
No, not really. I mean, straight after I got out of school, first thing I was doing was getting money. I wasn't trying to go to school or nothing like that. The only thing on my mind was trying to figure out how to get money as fast as possible.
I said I was gonna go to college, but that was just for the girls. But I ended up going. I was like, fuck it.
What was your parents' reaction to these choices?
My mother was cool. I stayed with my mother. My mother and father was cool with it though. They was cool with it. I was on the music hard, so that was my main focus.
Mm-hmm.
So after high school for you, you took music seriously.
Yeah.
And after high school for you, was music taken seriously, or you were getting money and then at some point later on in the future, music became serious?
No, I always took music serious as I started, because I always knew that's gonna be that's where I want to go with my life and shit, you know what I mean? That's what I want to do. So this shit always been serious for me.
Hindsight 2020, do you regret any of those decisions?
Nah, not at all.
Nah, I don't regret nothing.